Welcome to a New World, New Mind web series where we talk about mental health and help you understand what's going on mentally and physically to help you reintroduce yourself into a new world with a new mind. I'm Stephani Costanza, the founder of Drew's Movement. I am so excited to be here with you today. Today's topic is actually a big one. We're all going through it. We're going to discuss anxiety today, what it is, what's going on with your body. I know all of us have felt it once in our life, and some of you are feeling it for the first time. So I'm going to help you understand what it is that's happening physically and mentally with anxiety. So let's jump in. So a lot of you are feeling anxiety because if you think about it, with COVID-19 and everything that's happening, you probably were working for a job for 10 years, right? A lot of you had the same job for 10 years, same company. Some of you just graduated from college. You were ready to go out there into the world and discover this new life and new career path that you've chosen. And then some of us, and some of you have discovered that you really didn't like your job before this COVID-19 stuff happened. So we're experiencing a huge amount of anxiety financially with everything in our life, okay? So what is anxiety? Let's break it down. So if any of you have felt this, I mean, I grew up with anxiety. I personally have suffered anxiety my whole entire life as a child. There's different types of anxiety. We'll get into that. But anxiety is this feeling you get in your chest. It's this heavy weight feeling. I like to describe it like a troll sitting on top of you. You feel this pressure. Your heartbeat starts to race. Your breath gets very shallow. And you feel kind of like you're having a heart attack. You feel like you're going to die. It's one of the worst feelings ever. If you've ever had it, you know what I'm talking about. So how does this happen? Why is anxiety happening to you? Okay, we're going to break down what anxiety is. I know a lot of us hear people say, and I'm even guilty of this, where you'll hear someone say, oh, you're giving me anxiety, and laugh it off. Or, oh, this show is giving me anxiety. Or, oh my gosh, I'm feeling anxious. Like, you're making me anxious, right? We use it so frequently as a negative. And I think that's the key thing, is that we really need to stop associating things with anxiety as a negativity. And I'm going to explain why. So let's break down anxiety, okay? So what is anxiety exactly? What's happening to your body? Fun fact. I want you all to think about a time where you were excited about something, okay? Whether it was a first date, first day of school, new job, anything that you were excited about. I want you to think about what happened to your body exactly physically, okay? You start to breathe heavy. You start to feel this tingling sensation in your chest, right? You start to feel anxious. But the difference is that excitement is associated with a positive mental emotion. Okay, it's positive. You're excited for something to happen. You're excited to go on that date. You're excited to go play football. You're excited for this new job. It comes with a positive emotion. Now, I want you to think about anxiety, a time that you've had anxiety. Currently, what are you having anxiety about? What's happening with your body? You're experiencing the exact same symptoms physically as you would exciting and an excitement. The only difference is you have a negative emotion attached to it, right? So anxiety is sparked by fear. You're fearful of something. So it causes you to react, fight or flight, okay? So we're gonna break down the chemical, what's really happening in your body. So when you start to fear something, just like an animal, your natural instinct is to protect yourself, get ready. You get a spurt of energy like adrenaline, and you think, okay, am I gonna fight or am I gonna flight? But either way, it takes energy. That's exactly what your body's doing when you get a really fast heartbeat. You start to feel the tingling in your chest because your body needs more oxygen. So you're breathing heavier and your blood rate starts to circulate and you start to sweat, okay, to cool you down. It's preparing you to fight or flight, okay? And when you start to become fearful of something, you start to panic, which creates a panic attack. And we'll get into that. So I want you to understand what's happening, because once you understand what anxiety is, it's not as terrifying anymore. Once you realize anxiety and exciting are the same exact thing that happens to your body, just with a positive and a negative emotion attached to it. The logic is different, but the body is still going through the same thing. So you don't die. Obviously, you're not going to die from it. It does feel like you're literally dying. It is the worst feeling ever. Guys, I'm going to tell you, I get anxiety all the time. The only difference is I now tried to create a positive motion, which we'll get into that. I'll teach you how to do that. But right now, I really want you to understand that physically, what's happening is you're having arousal emotions. Arousal emotions sparks the sympathetic nervous system, and then it starts to react. So you have a spurt of energy called adrenaline, okay? So your adrenaline is making you fight or flight, okay? Same thing happens when you're about to give a speech, or when you're about to perform, or when you're about to play a football game. Same thing happens, except you're excited. Now, I'm going to introduce you to a really cool thing that I found out. So there was a professor at Harvard University, at the business school of Harvard. Her name was Allison Wood Brooks. Okay, she conducted an experiment. And what she did was she had her students, they were going to say a speech. Okay, and she told them that she was going to record the speech would cause anxiety. But the difference is she told half the class to tell themselves out loud, I'm excited to give this speech. And she told the other class to say to be calm. They are calm to give their speech. Want to know what happened? The people who associated with the excitement did better, and their speeches were longer. Okay? So you know that saying, stay calm, be calm, and get through it or whatever? That doesn't really associate with anxiety. That's actually the wrong thing to do, is to try to tell yourself to calm down. You know why? Because anxiety and excitement are closer together in the arousal emotion department than being calm. Okay? So it makes sense. When you're excited and you're anxious, it's both the same exact thing. So to tell yourself you're excited instead of anxious actually makes you perform better. Okay? There's actually sports psychiatrists and psychologists and coaches who believe that there's something called a sweet spot of anxiety. Okay, it's a combination of 50% anxiety and 50% excited. Makes total sense. Let me tell you why. Okay, because anxiety is associated with fear. Let's use a football player for an example. Okay. So when you go out on the field, you're excited because you're really good at football and you can't wait to perform and your friends are out there watching you, right? But then you're also anxious because you have fear of failing. Okay, you have a fear that, what if I don't kick the ball right? Or what if we lose and there's, coaches watching and there's, scouts watching and this can make my career or make it or break it, right? So your anxiety is based off of fear. But they believe that you perform better as an athlete with a little bit something called a sweet spot because your fear pushes and motivates you to do better. Okay, makes total sense. So we're going to talk about the different anxieties that you can have. I'm going to use myself as an example, okay? I have test anxiety, massive loads of test anxiety, okay? So for me, I am able, my whole entire life, I was a gymnast, competitive since like 3 years old. I was a pianist and I did pageants. So I was always in front of a lot of people constantly from a young age. So I'm not scared, obviously, to do public speaking. Okay, it's one of my favorite things actually to do. I get excited when I get to public speak, but I've been used to it. I used to do interviews if I won a competition, or I used to do a lot of these things on news channels. So my anxiety is excitement when it comes to public speaking. However, in school, since I was really young, and I didn't know what it was, and teachers didn't know what it was, I suffered really bad test anxiety. Like right now, if you give me a test with like 5 fill in the blanks or something, I'll literally crash it. And what happened to me in college, actually, and I'll tell you, is that I studied for 2 weeks for a final. I knew everything. I was like studying before everyone started studying. Everybody was like studying a week before. I was like 2 weeks before. I'm like, I'm going to nail this final and get the heck out of here, right? Wrong. So I studied, and when I sat down, my anxiety kicked in. My heartbeat started going a million miles an hour. I started breathing really shallow, and my mind went blank. And I just panicked, and my body shut down. There was no answers in my head. I couldn't take the test, okay? And my teacher, professor, thank God, she realized that during class, I was nailing it, all the worksheets. However, when it came down to a test, I couldn't perform. Your body, the adrenaline can actually inhibit your body from doing something, which is what I was experiencing. And I know a lot of you, when you get an anxiety attack, too much anxiety can make your body shut down. That's why there's a sweet spot that I'll teach you how to get. But in the meantime, Everybody has different anxieties, okay? What I did and what my teacher did to help me was I had to take verbal tests because, again, I get excited and I can talk. So I was fearful of failing the class, failing and having to take it all over again, getting reprimanded by my parents. The fear was causing the anxiety, the fear of failure. So anxiety stems from a fear, okay? And that's why everyone right now, and I'm guaranteeing that 90% of the people in the world right now have anxiety. People who've never had it before because they never feared for their job. They never feared that their finances were going to be what they are right now. They never feared these things before. So you're panicking like, holy crap, what am I going to do about this? Right? There's no really any solutions right now because we don't know what's happening in this world. So the only thing we can control is how we control our anxiety. Okay? And to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you right now, we should all be excited for a new opportunity. Like I said, for some of you, you didn't like your job. Okay? You didn't like your friends. There's a lot of things that we can actually look as a positive. Anxiety is not necessarily a negative. We shouldn't look at it like that. It's a spurt of energy. We should be excited. Okay? You need to change the way that we mentally look at this. And instead of always saying in a negative way, I'm anxious, oh, you're making me anxious, or joking that we have anxiety, completely stop that. Before I started this, I even told myself, just like Allison Wood, Brooks from the professor from Harvard said to tell yourself you're excited. I was actually excited to tell you guys this because when I realized it, I'm like, holy crap, this makes total sense. And now I'm not scared of my anxiety anymore. I've suffered from this since I was a kid. I wish someone would have told me this when I was a kid because it makes sense, right? Your anxiety is with a negative connotation to it. So let's change it. Let's make it a positive, okay? Now, when you have an anxiety attack, a lot of you are like, Steph, I've never dealt with this before. I have anxiety attack. I'm getting anxiety and then my body shuts down. Yeah, you've never felt this before, so you panic like, holy crap, what's happening with my body? Am I having a heart attack? Like makes sense. So I'm going to teach you different things to calm your anxiety. And then we will work on how to take your anxiety and turn it into creativity and find that sweet spot. Okay. So for those of you who have test anxiety or actually public speaking, if a lot of you have public speaking anxiety, a great thing to do is keep a paper clip in your hand, in your pocket, or when you're speaking, and channel your energy into that paper clip. It'll help calm you down. Also, before telling your speech, okay, again, because anxiety stems from a fear. You're fearful of standing in front of a crowd. You're anxious and nervous and shaking and your heartbeat's going a million miles because you're scared of failing or what people are going to think of you. So instead, do as I did. Tell yourself, I'm really excited to give this speech because I can't wait to tell these people what I know. Because everything that you tell someone, you actually physically know. You know it. It's in your mind, right? If you're standing in front of a crowd, you obviously should be there in the first place. So you got to look at it like that. But if you really do have an issue with controlling the actual physical sense of it, put a paperclip in your hand and try to undo it while you're giving your speech. Your brain will focus on the paperclip and forget about the fear, okay? Same thing goes if you have an anxiety attack at your home. Okay, when my brother passed away 3 years ago, let me tell you, I would have anxiety attacks that translated into panic attacks. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, is there a difference between anxiety attack and a panic attack? Why, yes, there is. An anxiety attack, okay, is your adrenaline and the energy. When you get into too much adrenaline and your body starts to shut down, because you're not channeling that energy. By the way, your adrenaline, anxiety is energy. Your body is giving you energy to flee the situation. It's a normal thing that happens. It's a chemical reaction that's like, ooh, this isn't good. I'm scared right now. What should I do? So your body automatically, which is an amazing thing if you think about it, animals do this all the time. Like they freeze and they're like, okay, what's the plan here? And they get this like rush of adrenaline and they use it. So when you have an anxiety attack and you don't use that energy, it goes into a panic attack. Panic attacks are awful. And some of you who are watching this are like, yes, they are. It feels like you're dying because your body shuts down, okay? You ever have an event or something or anything that your adrenaline is so high in the next few days, you're just like, you feel like you died and you feel like you have a cold or your body's just like, whoa, that's the same thing. Okay, that happened to me when I threw an event in January. I was like out for the week because I was so much adrenaline the week before. So you have to use the energy that you're given. That's the problem with most people when they have an anxiety attack. You're doing the wrong thing when you have an anxiety attack. You're not taking out the energy. You need to use the energy. If you just try to sit there and kind of calm yourself down, it can kind of be the wrong thing to do, because we associate with the arousal emotion, anxiety and excitement. Okay? Calm is a low arousal emotion. You want a high arousal emotion. Okay? It is harder to go from an anxiety attack to calm down. It's easier to go from an anxiety attack to an excitement. The same arousal, just different mentality. How do you do this? Okay, if you're at home and you have an anxiety attack, you're overwhelming yourself, or if you're around someone at work or an employee or anything, or a family member currently in quarantine, or if you're sitting by yourself in quarantine and you're overstimulating your mind and you're overwhelming yourself with the thought of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What's going to happen? Like, you're overwhelming yourself, okay? And you're not putting a plan in motion. This is where we're going to channel your anxiety into creativity, okay? We're going to use that energy. Now, you have to really focus when you start having an anxiety attack. You got to stop and think, okay, I'm getting anxious, I'm getting overwhelmed. What am I scared of? What's causing this? Okay, everything in an anxiety attack is caused by a fear. Okay, a fear of something. Okay, so if you have a fear of work, go outside and get fresh air, because you feel inside a home when you have an anxiety attack, not the best idea. Go get some fresh air, take some fresh air in and breathe out. When you have an anxiety attack, I'm going to tell you what I do. When I have an anxiety attack, I count to 4 in my head or out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. I breathe in and then I breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slower actually, but you know. And if that doesn't work, I tap my fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Immediately, your mind is focused on this and you forget your fear. Okay? This is putting energy out. Okay? So is breathing. You're using your energy. Okay? Just slow it down. Some people actually tell you to do push-ups when you have an anxiety attack, because your body is focused on the push-up. I'm going to tell you one thing. I tried laying down on the floor because someone told me to channel my energy into the ground. It didn't work for me because, again, you have energy. You have adrenaline. You need to use your adrenaline. Okay? So laying on the floor, again, high arousal emotion, dropping to a low arousal emotion. Doesn't work. You need to output that energy. Go for a walk. Okay? But when you're going for a walk, don't overwhelm yourself thinking about all this stuff. One thing we shouldn't do is, as a kid, do you remember when you used to go through a breakup, like a dramatic breakup in high school or junior high, or, you know, you got in a fight with your parents and they don't let you see a boy or girl or whatever, okay? When you were a kid, you used to put headphones on and listen to music that made you feel worse. And you used to cry and listen to like Alicia Keys or whatever your generation is. But you would listen to a really sad, soppy story of a song. And you would cry it out and you would journal that you hate everyone. Yeah. Don't do that, okay? That's not the correct creativity that we want to get. What you want to do is counteract the fear, okay? So if you have anxiety of losing your job, okay, start putting new job applications in. Start looking for a new job. You want to gain everything that you're doing with anxiety and the fears you want to have a solution to. So you're connecting positive logic with your negative energy. Does that make sense? So this all sounds super simple at some points and super hard at others. When you're having an anxiety attack, it's hard to do all this stuff, but you need to practice. If you start feeling anxiety, you got to stop it at the butt and be like, okay, I'm feeling anxious. I need to move. I need to go outside, go for a walk. Everybody has a front door, no matter where you live. Go for a walk. Okay? Get your energy out, come back, sit down and make a plan. Okay, if your body starts to shut down on you and you start having a real anxiety attack, you need to take in breath, count to 4, and output count to 4. Say it out loud. Use your fingers. If you're about to do a performance, again, you need to use a paperclip. Channel your energy somewhere. Get it out of you. Okay? Don't sit there and overwhelm yourself. If you're in a toxic relationship and someone's telling you over and over and over, get away from them. Walk away. It's okay to walk away from negative energy. We need to see the positive of the anxiety. Anxiety is not necessarily a bad thing when you know what it is. Okay? We know what it is. Fight or flight. And I want all of you to fight right now, because right now is an exciting time. We have a new world that we can channel this into. Don't be scared. Don't be fearful. I know it's easier said than done. Trust me, I'm also going through it, okay? I'm doing this from home. So we're all going through this. We're all anxious because we don't know. That job that you've worked so hard to get, that career that you worked so hard to get, it is physically impossible for you not to feel anxious about this. But try to find the sweet spot. Okay, try to reinvent yourself. So let's do that. So channel your anxiety into creativity. Okay, everybody is their own. I want you to think of yourself as your own business. Everybody is their own business. Okay, and right now, if you own a business, you need to be creative. You need to figure out ways to rebrand yourself. Okay, we're going to channel that anxiety and all the fears that you have, and we're going to get creative, just like you would a business. Right now, businesses and business owners are sitting down thinking, okay, how are we going to do this? Paper menus, 6 feet apart, maybe have an outdoor bar, like anything creative. You guys, we have to do that with ourselves right now. You need to be creative. You are your own brand. Let me explain that. Who you hang out with and where you go is exactly like handing a product to people around you, certain people around you, and letting them go market it. If you have the wrong people marketing your brand is going to fail. I have a background in branding, and let me tell you, this is a huge mistake that a lot of companies do. So you need to, right now, okay, reevaluate your life. And that's also another reason why people have a lot of anxiety, because you're getting the sense of like, if the world disappeared tomorrow, what kind of life did I live? A lot of us are feeling regret, or you're feeling like, man, what was I doing this whole time? Did I really live a substantial life? And it's causing you to panic. No, don't panic. The world's not ending tomorrow, okay? You have an opportunity to change your life right now, which is fantastic. That's exciting, okay? And a lot of you are like, not really, Steph, because I have been doing this for 10 years. Okay, you can still do that. Just reinvent yourself. Reinvent it. Figure out a new way to do it that nobody else has done yet. That's exciting. You could be the first to do something. You see what I'm saying? Your anxiety is not necessarily a bad thing. It's going to push you and motivate you to do something new. Now let's talk about you as a brand, okay? My job before I started my nonprofit, Suicide Prevention, was to rebrand failing businesses, okay? I've seen a lot of things you shouldn't do. So we're gonna do the same thing with us as human beings, okay? Just like there's a pyramid, we're going to use a restaurant for example, because everybody can relate to this, okay? A restaurant has a pyramid of hiring. You have an owner, an investor, okay? Owner, a manager, employees, and then like your kitchen staff and janitorial. And then you have your guests, okay? You are the owner, okay? And we can categorize the managers in your life as your parents or your significant other, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, whatever, all the same, manager. Okay, your employees are your friends, the people you surround yourself with. Now let's think about this, okay? What happens if you have a bad manager at your restaurant? Doesn't know what they're doing, doesn't know what they're saying. Now I'm not saying that your parents or husband, wife, boyfriend, whatever, doesn't know what they're doing. I'm saying if they influence in the wrong way, okay, or they cause stress, the rest of your pyramid can crumble. You wanna make sure that you're not in a toxic relationship. That's gonna destroy your business, because your mental health is going to collapse, okay? We've all been there. We've all been with someone or people who are toxic. If you keep them around, especially on a manager level of your life, you are gonna destroy your business, mentally and physically. Hire correctly. Always, we have an opportunity to hire correctly. This is another reason why people are having anxiety, because they're realizing that their marriages and their relationships right now during quarantine, we're not actually in the great spot, okay? Hire correctly, fire correctly. This is your business for the rest of your life. You only have one opportunity to do this. And as we're seeing, things can change in a day, okay? In a second, your life can change. So why waste any more time? Get the right people in your life. Get the right people in your business. So managers, let's go into employees. I see this all the time. I'm sure you have too. When you have employees who don't know what they're doing, they slack, they're lazy. By the way, lazy, okay? If any of you are lazy, gotta nip that in the bud, okay? Right now, you have a time to be a new you. Make good habits that you're gonna leave this quarantine with. Don't be lazy. Do your laundry, get up, take a shower, make your breakfast, do things around the house, do things, research, study, be creative, okay? Again, going back into employees. The friends that you surround yourself is like hiring employees for your restaurant, okay? Have we all been to restaurants that have really bad waitresses or waiters or bartenders, and you're just like, how the heck do you work here? Right? They forget everything. They don't plug it into the POS system. You're just like, what in the hell? And then you never want to go back. Okay, your friends and the people in your life are your employees. People are not want to go to your business. They're not going to want to be a part of your life. Remember, you are your business. They're not going to be a part of your life if you have bad employees around you. Okay, they're not. Because even though you're a great person, if you surround yourself with the wrong people, this restaurant could be the most beautiful restaurant in the world, okay? And the food could be phenomenal, but if the service is terrible, I especially, and a lot of you are like, yeah, I would never go back. Think about this. So if someone meets you and you surround yourself with these people and you're just like, Jesus, she's amazing, or he's amazing, but her world is totally, okay, you're setting yourself up for failure. I had to go into so many businesses and fire staff and be like, how are they on payroll for so long? And then when you hire the correct people, boom, new paint on the walls, new furniture, like this is simple. We are gonna do this with your life. So think about the people around you, okay? Your anxiety is based on all these things because like I said, now we've experienced what it feels like for our life, for the world to almost end, right? You're just like, holy crap, this is crazy. We're living in the twilight zone right now, okay? Comparable. So that's where your fear is stemming from. You're like, dang, dude, like what have I been doing? So think about that, okay? Your fears are all going down in your mind subconsciously. You are listing off the things. You're like, man, what? Okay? So employees are the people you surround yourself. Think about brands that you love and the people who represent them. And like all these bloggers and influencers that you see and you're just like, man, I want to be them. Okay? They're the right branding. They're the right employees. They're the right marketing for the brand. You are your brand. Okay? So the last tier, okay? Where you go, what you associate yourself, what you wear, what you do, all matters. All matters. Think about the people or yourself if you had a stage in your life where you were like a total emo rocker and you had black hair and like all this stuff, right? Not hating on you, go you. Just saying, then you get transition now to a different stage, right? So you can think about the different people you used to hang out with, okay? And the transitional phases, same thing. Okay, we're all going through transitional phase. If you spent majority of your time in a club last year, probably not, you're associating with a certain circle, okay? Same thing goes for everything. Your restaurant, what street is it in? You ever heard of a business location, okay? It's detrimental to your business if you open a fantastic restaurant or hotel in an area that is scary to walk at night or has a taco truck next to it or taco stand that's just, it's gonna fail, okay? This is a massive problem that happens in business all the time. Location is wrong. Therefore, no traffic. Therefore, no business. Are you gonna meet the future husband at a club? Probably not. Or future wife? Probably not. However, maybe through a good group of friends, maybe going to a nice bar, a high-end bar, or hanging out with the right people. Okay, rebrand your life, you guys. Right now, all this is a little skewed, but the same thing applies. Right now, what are you spending your time doing? Are you researching things? Are you looking at job possibilities? Are you being creative? Like, okay, where do you see yourself in the future? Do you see yourself in a really nice house and you have a beautiful family and you have your job and your business? What do you see? Okay, start there. What do you want? What do you see for yourself? and work backwards. This is the best advice I can tell you to do right now during quarantine to release your anxiety. This is being anxious and turning it into creativity. Okay? Start there. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to see yourself? And not physically. Where do you want to see yourself? What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Take that image and work backwards. Well, if you see yourself in a nice house, that means you have a nice career or a nice job. Okay? What does that mean? What career do you like? What are you good at? As kids, we used to all have our own little things, right? Like I have crazy discipline because I was a gymnast, okay? And I have certain traits that most people don't because I was a pianist and a gymnast. So the way I function is based because of that. We all have that. Whatever your kid traits were and your talents, go back to the basics. What are you good at? What do you love to do? Okay, what are you good at? Right now, we live in an amazing time where we have computers and we have Etsy and we have Pinterest and we have all these things that you can utilize. Social media is great when for businesses, right? You grow an audience. So what do you want to do? Okay, you need to be creative. If your business is no longer, if your career path is no longer aligned with what's this new world that we're seeing, what can you do? Is there something you can change about it? Sit down and get creative. Okay, spark that inner child in you and get going, get those juices flowing because we all are capable of doing it. Channel that anxiety and the fear of failing to motivate you. Take your anxiety and be like, okay, I need to figure something out. I'm antsy, I'm anxious, I'm scared, I don't know what's happening in the future. Okay, then create your own future. Take that anxiety and the fear and channel it to motivate you to be creative. Okay, now if you're not quite there yet and you're like, Steph, still dealing with stuff, I'm still trying to figure out the physical. Okay, channel your energy from your anxiety and go organize your closet, go spring clean, go do something, go on a walk, like research things online. All these elite schools are giving free lessons. Learn a new language. You know what I recently did to help my mind? I downloaded a really fun app for your mind. You play these really weird games and you try to escape a room and it makes you feel really stupid at times, but it's fun and it's great and it's channeling your energy. You need to get your energy out, guys. It's fight or flight. Are you going to fight or are you going to flight? Which one are you going to do? Either way, you need to take your anxiety and get it out of you. Again, it's energy looping back, okay? It's energy, it's adrenaline to help you get something done out of your fear, okay? Remember this. Anxiety is the same thing as excitement. It's the same physical feeling. Don't be scared of it. Let's utilize it. Sit down and put logic into motion. Let's do this, right? There's a new world. So now we're entering a new you. Get to know the new you. Okay, everybody, I'm pretty sure all of you have amazing qualities, okay? So channel them. Let's use them for good. Let's use them for an amazing thing, okay? So again, find your sweet spot, okay? 50% anxiety, 50% excitement. Okay, don't let your anxiety overpower one or the other, okay, because it'll shut your body down, okay? So you want to get your sweet spot and use it. Just like athletes perform better because they use their sweet spot, okay? Their anxiety motivates them to not fail, okay? And their excitement motivates them because they're excited to do it, okay? They have a plan in motion. So let's get your plan in motion. Okay, I hope this helped you. I hope you feel better about your anxiety. If you need more tools and techniques, I have tons of them for anxiety, you guys. Especially remember when you're having an anxiety attack, count to 4, tap your fingers, breathe out, and relax. Do it over and over until you relax a little bit and are able to think and get your body back in motion. If your body is shutting down, go for a walk. Okay, also it helps to call a person when you're having an anxiety attack or a panic attack. And have them, I designate a certain person in my life, okay, to be my anxiety buddy. We actually do this with Drew's Movement. So if you're interested, go ahead and find Drew's Movement on social media. It's Drew's Movement or at Drew's Movement. And what we do is, what I do especially is I call this person when I have a panic attack and they count me down or they tell me, okay, do a push-up. Let's go. get up and do a push-up, or come on, let's go outside. They motivate you and get the fear out of your head. So if you have a hard time doing this for yourself and you're new to this, it's okay. You can also reach out to me on social media. I can do one-on-ones with you. I love doing them. I do them all the time. So I hope this episode of Anxiety helped you. I hope you guys start using it for creativity. Again, the social media links are at Drew's Movement and at Stephani Costanza. I will see you guys next week for another episode of New World, New Mind.